New patient. PRN 385. Name? Kaminari Denki. Ward 5. High risk. Patient description. Was found strangling his own mother and attempted to attack one of the EMT responders on the scene. Upon arrival, a quirk limiter was placed on the patient, but he somehow managed to get out of it. Though, still, and didn't make any advances towards the 2 transporters. Once the 2 officers entered the vehicle, they identified that the patient was repeating the same phrase over and again.
Retreat to the heavens, Midoriya. Take care of everyone I send your way.
A sigh escapes your lips as you pace down the concrete hallways, eyes tracing the pages of the report before you. This has gotta be a new record. The pages upon pages from just one patient was obscene. Not only that, but very unusual for a Class 5 inmate. Though, one page in particular catches your attention. It reads, Patient 385, Kaminari Denki, was given an overnight mandatory suicide watch. At 3 o'clock that morning, the subject was found curled up in the far left corner of his cell, periodically looking toward the door with a blank stare and shocking himself by use of his quirk. Interesting enough. You huff, feet still clacking along the hallway as you watch the cell doors stand linear along the walls of Ward 5. You then begin to count the plate numbers. 379, 380, 381. The pounding and screaming, sobbing, and soulless eyes of Ward 5 pierce holes into those who have the courage to work around them on the daily. 382, 383, 384, 385. The subject in question lays propped against the wall. Only thing different from the report is that he's giggling to himself. His hands lay wrapped loosely around his knees, though the way he greets you was odd, even for Ward 5.
Oh, hey there. I didn't know I had fans all the way out here.
Not even a glint of malice or ill intent in his voice. He seemed normal. His demeanor didn't match up with the reports you'd been given, so you went with it.
Hey, the cell is quite cushy. Come, sit.
He pats the floor next to him. And so, due to the philosophy you'd started the job with, unless they've given me a reason to think otherwise, I will treat every patient as a person, not as a broken doll to be pieced back together, and not as something ill or unmanageable, as a normal human being. You followed suit with his request, sitting in the spot he'd patted. So, what brings you in today? You tilt your head, clicking the pen in your hand. He hums, mirroring your confusion. Oh, right. He giggles. Though wholesome in nature, it was chilling based on his demeanor.
Midoriya needed my help, so I did what he asked.
Midoriya? Like Izuku Midoriya? Didn't he pass away recently?
Indeed. But he's still here, he mumbles. I hear him sometimes. Okay, I admit, it doesn't sound like him a lot of the time. Like, it's his voice, but it's not something he would say, you feel?
You mumble. When do you hear him, if you don't mind my asking? You were sure to make a note of his comment, branching off and taking notes on his responses.
Depends, he notes. Just sometimes.
Is there something that triggers you hearing him? You take a line specifically for his response.
Not really. I just made it a point to listen when he speaks.
He curls his knees into his chest, pressing his head into the face of his knees. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about how we found you, if that's all right. You create another box below the last, scribbling down a question and awaiting his confirmation to ask it.
Yeah, sure.
He huffs, letting go of his obscenely tight grip on his knees. Your mother. You'd killed her when the responders found you. Why, you ask? His hands spark up, zapping himself again. Quite harshly this time.
He asked me to. It told me he died for the people I killed. I know, some god-complex shit, he mumbles. But he asked me to, so I did.
Huh. Interesting concept, you mumble, a confused look peering back at you. You hear him every now and again, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not overstepping my boundaries, I'd like to explain to you what I think you're experiencing. You smile warmly, cueing his head to nod lightly. I think what you're experiencing is referred to as early-onset schizophrenia, which is quite odd for your age, but it could have been caused by the death of your friend.
Okay. He furrows his brows.
Okay, you see, your line of work has a large chance of developing a disorder of some kind. Looking at your chart, you've already had 3 diagnoses that are really quite common. You smile. This could be very manageable. Your comment seems to put his mind at ease.
Ah, cool. Could I eventually go back to work?
Your face shifts at his comment. Your agency may let you, but I wouldn't bet on it. It's a liability issue, Kaminari.
Right.
He huffs, peeking over his arms at you.
It's fine. I'll figure it out.
He smiles, fiddling with his fingers. Okay, I'm gonna get the doc to come in and evaluate you. You should be out of this place sometime in the next 3 weeks. He reciprocated your smile, gripping one of your hands in his.
Thank you.
One of the only times you'd seen him with a clear head. Little did you know that the moment you left that cell, his tics would kick in. His head would bash against the concrete walls, and any information he'd relayed would be of no use to anybody. But that's how this job was. And that's how it had to be. On to the next case. Y'all don't even have to guess who this fic was by. If you've been on this channel for a while, then you probably already know who wrote this fic. But if you don't, this fanfiction was written by who I consider to be an ethereal being, the true alien, when it comes to dark stuff, gut-wrenching angst, unsettling works Koshi writes. Please go check them out on Wattpad. A link to their fanfiction and their profile are in the description below. They do amazing work. And as always, if you have a fanfiction that you wrote and would like for me to read on the channel, or a request for a fanfiction that you would like for me to write, please feel free to leave that request or the link to your fanfiction in the comment section below, or shoot me a DM on one of the social medias that I have posted on the screen.
Woo, okay, let's do this, yeah.
Yo, 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 what up is that boy? Dank memes calamari. 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 I don't know why I do this. And it's only for this man. I think it's because he doesn't get the respect he deserves, so...
What you doing for Halloween, guys? You all in your costumes, having a good time? You eating that candy, boy? You watching scary movies? You watching wholesome movies? You watching that anime, boy? You watching that K-drama, boy? You sitting alone in your room, hiding from your parents? That's a mood.
Why am I talking like this? I think it's the full moon. This is where we are in life. And when I say this is where we are, I mean we're succeeding immensely. Bloop, blop, bloop, bleep. Blop, bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, blop, bloop, bloop, bleep. Blop, bloop, 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 bleep. Blop, bloop, bleep, blop, bloop.
Once the two officers. Asifa, please. Asifa, please. Please. I'm not drunk, Asifa.
You better shape up. 'Cause I need a man.
A sigh escapes your lips as you pace down the kwang wang 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 wang.
Sometimes you gotta make your way down the kwang wang 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 wang.
Periodically looking towards the door.
Watch out for them DeRas. They're a little scary, bruh.
Which is quite odd for your age, but it could have been caused by We were on a roll, ladies and germs.
You should be out of this place sometime in the You should be out of this place sometime in the
You should be out of this place sometime in the
You should be out of this place sometime in the This line is hard.
He reciprocated.
There's a mannequin head inside of my closet. I mean, professional recording studio for professional business. Anyway, so there's a mannequin head inside of here, and it's staring at me, and her name is Shannon. That's all. Everyone say hi to Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.